Hello everyone, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire, The Thief Path. Well, as you can see, it is now night. In fact, it is the middle of the night on day 1. And all my time lockpicking has boosted my intelligence to 130, my agility to 133, my vitality to 116, and my combat training with a horror boosted my weapon use and dodge by 1. Stealth's currently at 108, and my picklocks is now at a respectable 133. But with that done, I'm going to go ahead and sneak my way back to the plaza. And while I can pick the lock on the door, I'm not going to do so, because for some reason it seems the guards wander through the gate plaza much more frequently, and if they catch you, well, you'll get one warning. And I really don't feel like messing around with it when I have the key, so we'll go ahead and rest until morning. You waken much refreshed as the sun begins to rise, and boom, health and stamina back at full. Switch back to walking. Even though I don't think anybody comments on you sneaking around, it's still good to maintain the respectable pose. Then greet Shamin, sit down. It would please me if you would come to my dance this evening. I'll greet her. Thank Shima. And nothing new from her, but your breakfast is delicious. Not much else to say to that. And we go in and ask Shamin about dance. Same thing as before. Alright, we've got quite a bit of business to get around to today, but first things first, we're going to head back to the Saurus stables. Why? To introduce one of my favorite bits of comedy in the game. Ah, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Although for the life of me, I can't imagine why. I'm Ali Fika, Honest Ali Fika. Welcome to Honest Ali Fika's used Saurus lot. If we don't have the Saurus you want, then you don't want one. Of course, even if you don't want one, I'll be happy to sell one to you. You bet your life you've seen this guy before. Yep, it is Groucho. Groucho Marx as Ali T. Faker, the used Saurus salesman. You look like a man looking for a Saurus. I have the finest saddle Saurus you can find. I'm a magnificent saddle Saurus. If you ride one, that's exactly what you'll get. You never know when a Saurus might come in handy. Why, just the other day you were thinking to yourself, Self, you thought, if only I had someone to play Pinnacle with. If you had a Saurus, you still couldn't play Pinnacle. You couldn't even pronounce it. And it just goes to show you. And speaking of shows, if I got the Saurus for you, the Saurus, that's where you look for synonyms. And speaking of sin when it comes to Sauruses, well, let's just keep your personal preferences a secret, shall we? They don't call it Saurus Rex for nothing. And he will keep this dialogue going until you eventually buy a Saurus. which does lead to one of the funnier game overs in the game, which I will show off later, but... I thank thee for the story of India. I am happy to hear of your many deeds. Well, I was trying to ask you about the Saurus seller, but... The only thing that's honest about Ollie is the fact that he honestly can't spell Saurus. Okay, let's greet him. Greetings, my good fellow. I'm Honest Ollie Fakir, and this is my short-term Shapirian Saurus shop. If it's Saurus chops you're after, then I'm not your man. Go see a butcher. Nevertheless, I'm holding a sale in which I'm set on selling my sole remaining Saurus to some susceptible schmuck. This is truly your lucky day. And we can make the thief sign to him. What do you take me for, a common criminal? There's nothing common about me. If you want to talk of thieves, take the money changer. I'd certainly take her myself. She'll certainly take you for everything you've got. Well, that's about Ollie Fakir. I'm Ollie Fakir. Honest Ollie Fakir. Honest Ollie T. Fakir. I'll bet you don't know what the T stands for. Edgar, but you were close, though. My name is Honest Ollie Fakir. Pleased to meet you. Personally, I'm a merchant. I sell Sauruses. I'm the local Saurus sorts. Would you be interested in buying one? I can make you a deal on a late model with all the options thrown in. Options like saddle, bridle, 2 feet. Ask about the Saurus. I've seen an awful lot of Sauruses, and I've seen a lot of awful Sauruses. The Saurus is the ship of the desert, and you can't ship it far enough to suit me. All a Saurus takes is a little grass, say a bale, some water, around 20 gallons, and a little love, and it will follow you anywhere, which can get mighty embarrassing at times, believe me. Picture yourself mounting your very own Saurus for the first time. You get up, you fall off, you mount up again, and sit proud in the saddle knowing you can ride with the best of them. And the price. Ah, I wonder when we get around to such a reasonable question. Do you have any idea how much a Saurus is worth? What price glory? Well, never mind that now. I'll be happy to sell you a Saurus for 100 dinars, but I'll settle for 50. To travel the desert around here, you need a good Saurus. A good Saurus will never desert you. However, the Saurus I have for you is your just desserts. Shapir is God's country, and he can have it. Ask about the fountain. I've worked the fountain, but I'm no soda jerk. Anyway, I certainly seem to be a fountain of information for you. Ask about Dinarzad. Ah, fair Dinarzad. She'll change your money and steal your heart. Or is it the other way around? Steal one kiss from her and you'll probably be missing your eye teeth. Actually, one kiss from her and you probably won't notice your eye teeth are missing. Now that's what I call a woman. And ask about money. Ah, money, the sound of sin times, the din of dinars, music to my ears. Speaking of money, would you be interested in making an investment in the future? You can contribute to the used Saurus Sellers Retirement Fund. This is your chance. All you need to do is contribute, and I'll throw in a used Saurus. Better yet, buy the Saurus in the first place, and then I'll retire. Okay, well, to get the best, all of the conversation options, we have to leave. And come back. You know, you remind me of someone I didn't sell a Saurus to. Nah, it couldn't be. Surely someone with your brains and looks needs a Saurus. Either that or a preschool and a plastic surgeon. So you want to buy a Saurus, eh? I'm Fakir. Honest Ollie Fakir. Glad to meet you. You come to the right place. Honest Ollie Fakir's use Saurus a lot. If you don't buy one here, you don't buy one. I've got a beauty of a Saurus for you. Only you had one owner. A sweet little old lady who only took it out on Sundays to go drag racing. Or was that dragon racing? At any rate, I'm here to sell you a Saurus, and I'll sell you a Saurus and I won't take no for an answer. I don't know the meaning of the word no. I couldn't find it in the Saurus. So they call you a hero, eh? What kind of hero are you walking around like a nobody when you could be riding across the desert riding your noble steed across the desert sands? I can see it now, you in your flowing white robes, riding the entire Buno nation at your side as your blue eyes blaze, as you ride to glory. No, wait, that was that Lawrence guy, wasn't it? Well, even you would look less reprehensible upon a Saurus. Hi, I'm Ollie, Honest Ollie Fakir. Welcome to Honest Ollie Fakir's used Saurus lot, where we always sucker we see one. Pleased to meet you. Now about that deal we were going to make. You do want to buy a Saurus, don't you? Yeah, we keep getting Chica on one side and Groucho on the other. That's it. I give up. I've tried to help you save the universe. You won't buy my lousy Saurus. After all I've gone through just so you could win this stupid game sequel, you wouldn't know a hint if it knocked you in the head. In fact, you wouldn't even know your own head. If you don't buy my Saurus this time, I'm going to pack up my lot, and then we'll see who can win the game. We'll see who laughs last. Ha ha! And in fact, if you do leave at this point, you just can't take a hit, can you? The Saurus you should have bought went to the wrong customer, and the entire free roll will be enslaved as a result. Oh, missed a line there. You do want to buy a Saurus, don't you? Well, I did not want to do that because I just paid way more than I should have. But that's what the save game is for. Ah, true love at first sight. What is a sight for a Saurus's eyes? Seeing that you two kids are hitting off from the start, it sounds like a good time to start heading off. Hello, I must be going. An exit if I ever heard one. Well, there is an option where you can bargain him down to 5 dinars on the Saurus. But I may have blown it with my stubborn refusal. But we'll give this one more try. We may just have to wait for him to ask us again about buying the Saurus. Well, I seem to have talked myself into a corner. Yeah, if you want to show your affiliation with the profession, you should be more subtle about it and use the thief sign instead. Farewell, I never forget a face, but in your case I make an exception. Well, unfortunately, now I'm not going to get the option to show you some of the conversation options that you get when you're haggling him down, which are pretty amusing. So I'll have to come back and do that another time, but for now... Actually, wait a minute. I think I actually do have an earlier save where I could show this off. So let's try that. And here we go again. Yeah, okay, now we get the options of yes, no, I'll think about it. Don't you know an answer when I'm questioning it? Let's get down to business so I can do a business on you. I'm selling you a Saurus and you're trying to buy one, right? No. Was that no, I want to buy a Saurus, or I know I want to buy a Saurus? You really got to pronounce these things clearly, you know? Or maybe you don't. At any rate, I'm here to sell you a Saurus and you're here to buy it, right? No. Let's get this story straight. You want to buy a Saurus and I'm trying to sell you one. Does that make sense to you? No. Alright, let's try it this way. I've got the Saurus for you and you're looking for the words to say how much you want him. That's why you need the Saurus, of course. So what do you say? Shall we shake hands and call it a deal? No. You know, at this point I'd be willing to buy you the Saurus as long as she runs away with you on it. No. Yes. Seeing as how nobody in his right mind would actually want a Saurus, you won't mind that I have the right Saurus for you. Just to show you a swell person I am, I'll throw in a 3 saddle and Bertle with the purchase. In fact, I'll even let you have free room and board at the stable. I've had enough boredom as it is. All this for mere 50 dinars. What do you say? No. Perhaps there's more of a brain about you than I suspected. Shall we shake hands on 40 dinars for the Saurus? No. You certainly know how to drive a hard bargain. Why don't we just agree at 30 for Bertle, saddle, and Saurus? No. Well, we certainly aren't going nowhere fast. I'm willing to make you my best offer. 20 dinars, you walk away in a new for you, Saurus. What do you say? No. You know, you drive a hard bargain. I respect that, man. However, I'll respect you in the morning is something else. This is my last and final offer. 10 dinars, and if I go in the law, I have to stand on a chair to take your money. Now, is this a deal, or do we have a deal? No. This is ridiculous. Here I am, a man of unquestionable integrity and dignity, forced to sell his sole remaining Saurus for a mere fraction of its dubious value. I'll take 5 dinars for the Saurus and even throw in travel assurance. You would travel and I'll assure you. Now are we agreed? Yes. Ah, true love at first sight. Well, a sight for a Saurus's eyes. Seeing that you two kids are hitting it off from the start, this sounds like a good time to start heading off. Hello, I must be going. An exit if I ever heard one. Okay, so now that we have seen all of the many ways in which you may attempt to buy a Saurus, let's get to paying the overpriced price because I've messed around with him for too long. Thankfully, we'll be able to make back what this Saurus is worth and then some. Because I have it in mind to take the Saurus out on our very first trip to the desert. And attacked by bandits already. Yeah, the fighting is much improved from the original, in that you actually do have to pay attention and strategize a little bit. The earlier game, you could just kind of keep button mashing until you won. This one, not so much. Ah, he has that trick too. Almost got him. Almost got him. You have triumphed gloriously over the brigand. You find 5 dinars and 30 centimes on the brigand's body. You retrieve your daggers from the corpse and carefully wipe them clean for reuse. And we can also pick up a handful of rocks, and this trick from the first game still works. We can pick up rocks in the desert and throw them to improve our throwing skill. And, yeah, remember what they said about our Saurus being brave and helping us in the fight? Not so much. At any rate, my intention was not to get into our first fight, but to head out to the desert oasis. Which is a surprisingly short trip on the back of the Saurus. Bingo. He who turns to run away sometimes finds knife in back. It's very wet. Your trusty riding Saurus. You take a deep drink of the warm but refreshing water. You then check and refill your water skin. The Dervish spends most of his time here reflecting. This guy looks like he's been in the desert for too long. And we can try climbing the trees here. You see dune upon dune stretching in all directions as far as the eye can see. And yeah, just that little bit of combat raised our strength, agility, weapon use to 8, dodge to 2, stealth is up to 10, honor is up to 54. Anyway, we'll go ahead and walk around the pond to talk. Man who is always polite finds many people to help him. The wise old dervish gives you a funny look but says nothing. Now you just feel silly. Wise man learn much by saying little. Difference between beard and world is one whirls around tree, the other twirls around me. Compass is like desert. Both bear news from all directions. Peanuts. Once you start, it is very hard to stop. Yeah, he'll say various things, and I think we missed the one where he said, hero business is like eating peanuts. Once you start, it is very hard to stop. Ask about rumors. 3 men can keep a secret if 2 are dead. Lenish appear like rainbow, very colorful and always something new. Ask about the Thieves Guild. Man who steals is like nightfall, sneaks everywhere and takes things from sight. Dinarzard, a trader who knows the value of a coin. All that glitters is not gold. Not all that gold is there is for the taking. One who watches world whirl by sees many things. Actually, let's ask about whirl. Adventurer is one who has no home but is never homeless, has no help but is never helpless. When all men share, no man thirsts. Kata like Dervish, content to sit in the sun and think. When law is made without justice, men live without freedom. Freedom is like temper, only valued when lost. A wise man can survive where a fool will perish. Oasis is like wise saying because both seem shallow but are very deep. Monster is as monster does. And Jackalman. Jackalman is like sardines, always goes in packs. Man who steals purse gets trashed. Man who jokes a scorpion gets it in the end. Pterosaurus is like man desert, very fond of lesser sauruses. Ghouls give fighter the cold shoulder. Well, we don't get much wisdom out of the Dervish, but we can get a small piece of his beard, which you'll remember was on the list of things that the magic shop owner was looking for. I'll go ahead and say goodbye. Farewell is like footwear, well worn but to the point. And now with that done, we can just say return to the city. Your Saurus' natural homing instinct sets you on the right path. And boom, we instantly go back to the overlook of Shapir. So there. We now have a Saurus, and we now got one of our first major quests to earn a little bit of money done. I'm going to go ahead and duck into the street. Even though we can take the magic map back to the plaza. Just so I can do a little bit of sneaking training. And see if maybe we can trigger an Easter egg. Walking around this way. And not so much. And it is still a dawning day. And Picklux is now up to 134. My stamina is at 2, so good time to rest, I think. And with that done, we'll go ahead and merge into the Plaza of the Fountain. Get ourselves some much-needed water. Refill our water skin just to be safe. And next time, I think we'll go ahead and start talking to the merchants and check in at the apothecary and the magic shop here and see what we can learn there. See you next time.